Hello my beauties and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be learning how to create this smoky cut crease winged out liner look. So let's get started. We always want to go in with moisturizer to start off. I'm using the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Lotion. This is more specifically for combination to oily skin, which that is the skin type that I have. I went in with just one pump because that's enough for my face. If you guys have dry skin, I do recommend getting the gel. That is the same brand, but it's just the gel because that's more for dry skin. Now I'm going in to moisturize my under eyes. I'm using the Clinique All About the Eyes, just using my ring finger, barely dipping it in, and that small dab is going to work for both under eyes. Now this is mainly to reduce circles and puffs, but I like going in to moisturize my under eyes now just because I've learned recently that when I moisturize, it prevents creasing with my foundation, with my concealer, and with my powders after I go in and set everything. Now I'm going in with my Mario Badescu Rose Water Spray. This is just a facial toner that I'm going to use kind of to even out my skin tone before I go in with my foundation. Next, I'm going in with my NYX Photo Loving Primer. Just a small dab will do. Just ignore my chewing. I was eating a Starburst that my son gave me. That small dab is going to be used to go over my cheeks, in my T-zone area, and on my chin. This is just the areas where I mostly get oily and where my pores are where I've noticed to be the biggest. After I go in and apply that everywhere where I just said, you kind of just want to rub everything in and make sure everything is there. I've recently loved carving out my eyebrows before I fill them in. So right here I'm going in and carving out my eyebrows. I think that's a Morphe brush, but honestly you guys, after I started carving them out, I lost the brush when I set it down, and then I think I went in with a different brush, but I'll link that below down on the description area once I find that brush, because I have definitely misplaced it for the time being. But I'm using the Maybelline concealer, I believe in the shade 20, to carve out my brows and to use it as a base for my eyeshadow. One of the main reasons I like to go in doing my eyes first after I've applied my skincare is because this gives my skincare time to set into my face, kind of let it soak, make it a really good base for the foundation to go on. So right here I'm just using my Morphe sponge after it's been soaked in water, and I'm kind of blending out the concealer after I've carved out my brows, just kind of blending it out so that it goes all over the lid. And then of course you guys know I'm going to set it with my Airspun powder. This is my ride or die. Honestly, I use this every time. I use it on clients, I use it on myself, I use it on my sisters. I'd say I use it on my dog, but she doesn't wear makeup. Okay, so once I go in with my Airspun setting powder, just lightly set the concealer, that way it doesn't crease, because setting your powder helps it go on smoother. So right here I'm using the Morphe N15. This is one of the palettes that I won at the Gleaming Beaute giveaway, and I believe I'm going in with a Morphe E27, and I'm using the shade Selfie. This is going to be my transition shade, and I honestly, you guys, I love the pigment of these powders. Like they're so beautiful, they're so stunning, like they're so, if you guys don't own any Morphe products, like I totally recommend going and buying some, and you will fall in love instantly. So I'm just going in with this powder as a transition shade. Don't mind me adjusting my little baby hair so that they don't look like cuernitos. So I'm going in with that. And now I'm going in, I believe, with the shade, I think it was called Editorial, just to kind of darken up the crease. And it's still the same brush. And now that I think about it, that's not an E27. I believe that's a Morphe. It's one of the Gunmetal collections. Right here, I have switched over to a Morphe R35, and I'm using this shade Hello, just kind of to darken it out a little bit more. So the key to getting a good smoky eye is just applying colors as dark as you can and then going back through and blending them out. So I switched over to a smaller tapered blending brush, and I'm going in now with the shade Scene. This is a dark purple, even though it looks black, it is a dark purple. And I went in with patting motions first, just to kind of apply the color out on the outer corner of the lid, and then I use swiping motions to bring it into the inner corner. And right here, it's a lot of going back and forth, blending, make sure one eye matches the other. A good trick to do this is just kind of take a step back, look at both eyes and see where you need to add color. While I was editing this, I realized that I had to edit a lot of my blending. So here's how to get the perfect cut crease. As you guys saw, I added a little bit on the lid area, and then I looked up, and then wherever the line landed, that's where I followed. So right here, I'm using my Morphe M166 to carve out my lid with the concealer, and it's the Maybelline in the shade 20. So right here, I'm just kind of following that line in dabbing motions, not swiping, dabbing, and making sure that both eyes look even. And now I'm wetting the same brush with my MAC Fix Plus, and I'm going into that same palette using the shade Unique. And a good tip I've learned is if you wet your brush with metallic shades, the color goes on a lot brighter. And now I'm just kind of dabbing this on and cleaning out the crease just a little bit better. Like I said, it's the same brush, the Morphe 166, and I'm applying that all over the lid area just to make sure that I get a good solid color all over the lid. If you guys don't feel comfortable doing this bold look at your house or even to go out, like, just practice. Practice makes perfect. And at the end of the day, it's just makeup. If you don't like it, just wipe it off. And like I said before, a good trick to making sure that your eyes look even is taking a step back and making sure everything looks okay. So right here, I'm going in back with that small tapered brush. I believe it was a Morphe M503, and I'm going back in with the shade Scene, kind of to darken out the outer corners of the eyes. And now I'm going in to do my liner. I'm using the NYX Vinyl Liquid Liner. You guys, I'm no liner pro. All I do is I just kind of add a line at the very corner of my eyeball, I guess that's what it's called, where my lash line kind of meets, and I just go towards the direction of the end of my brow. And if it doesn't come out perfect, it's totally fine, because a good trick to getting a good wing is going back through and cleaning it up with either concealer or a makeup wipe, like you see me doing right here. So just cleaning it up kind of sharpens out the wing just a little bit, and it also gets rid of any fallout that you had while doing your eyes. Now I'm going in with the Ariana Basutro lashes. This is in the style Hollywood. These lashes are thebomb.com. When I tell you thebomb.com, they are for real amazing. They're mink lashes, super pretty, super lightweight. Like, you guys can barely even tell that they're on, and they're amazing. You guys need to go out and purchase you some. Now I'm going in with my Milani 2-in-1 foundation in the shade 4, of course, and I put it on my Morphe sponge, and now I'm just kind of applying it all over the face. I really love this foundation, even though it is drugstore. It's full coverage, and I feel like it lasts all day on me. But a good trick is always making sure that you've moisturized your face properly and that you've primed to the max, because you have to have a good base before you build your house. I know that's corny, but you have to have a good foundation or a good base for your foundation to go on. So right here, I'm just kind of applying it all over the face. Don't be scared to go down to your cheeks, and whatever you have left over, kind of go over to the ears and make sure everything kind of goes into the hairline and everything is blended in properly. Another thing I love about this brush is the flat side. That side kind of helps me get around my eyebrows and my liner just to make sure it doesn't smear it. And now I'm going in with 2 different shades of the Maybelline Maybelline concealer. I'm going in shade 20 and 25 just because I feel like both shades together match my skin tone perfectly, because one is a little bit too dark and the other one's a little bit too white. So I like to mix shades. So I apply it underneath my eyes, on the bridge of my nose, up on my forehead, and on my chin. And I'm also going in with a Maybelline concealer as well to contour my face. Just a small line to go through. You don't want to go in too heavy with the cream contour, just because a little bit goes a long way. I'm using a Morphe little angled brush. I'll link it down below because I misplaced a lot of things, and I have misplaced this one as well. And I like to use a brush to blend out my cream contour, just because I've used my beauty sponge in the past, and it was an epic fail because I got cream contour where I highlight, and it was just epic fail. So now I'm going back in with my beauty sponge and I'm blending out the highlighted areas and making sure that everything kind of blends out. Anything that I didn't like about the cream contour, I can go through and fix. That's why I like to blend out my cream contour first before I blend out my highlighted areas. Even though I totally put on the concealer before I did the cream contour, but it's totally cool. So right here I am going through, you didn't notice, but I'm going through and I am setting it with my airspun powder, of course, just lightly set on the under eye, both under eyes, and then I'm going to lightly set the rest of my face. I don't like to bake because my under eye creases a lot, so I just lightly set with a damp beauty sponge on my forehead, on my chin, like I said, all over my face. And the good thing about this brush is that you can use it, the flat side, to kind of clean out and carve out your contour like I'm doing right here. And like I said, I lightly set, I don't bake, just because it's a preference. If you like to bake, bake away, girl. Now that I've lightly set my face, I'm going to go through and contour. I'm using my Hoola bronzer kit and I'm using the Morphe P43. Now, I don't think you can buy this on the website. This is something that I got in one of my LiveGlam brush subscriptions that I get each month. And right here, I'm just going to go through and set where I cream contoured, and then what I like to do to kind of bronze up my nose a little bit, or contour it per se, is kind of use the same brush but pinch it a little bit and then go on the inside of my nose. And right here I'm using a couple, why do I say a couple? I'm legit using all of the blush shades from the Hoola bronzer blush palette, and I'm using the Morphe Y11. You just kind of want to smile a little bit, find the apples of your cheeks, and then apply. And right here I'm going in with an angled brush in the shade Scene again, and kind of going on my waterline. And my son was running into the camera, which is why I got really shaky for a moment. And then now that we're all settled and back to normal, we are going to continue with the rest of my face, and I'm going in with a tapered small blending brush. This is the Morphe E17, and to blend out the shade Scene, I'm going in with Selfie to kind of smoke out the under eye a little bit. A good thing about smoking out your under eye, even though it does look silly at times, it helps hide any under eye wrinkles you may have. Now I'm going in with the Becca highlighter in Opal, and I believe I'm using the Morphe M441. You kind of want to dab and then go sideways. And of course I'm highlighting the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, and the inner corner of my eye. That is a Morphe R7. You guys, I'll link it down below. Don't feel frightened to reach out to me and ask me what brushes I use, because a lot of times I forget half the time what brushes I use. But I'm going in the shade Opal and highlighting the bridge of my nose as well. Now I'm going through and I'm setting my entire face with Max Fix Plus, just to help bring out that inner glow from within. And then I'm going in with my Morphe setting spray to really set everything in for the night. Once that's done, I'm going in with a lip liner from NYX. They're the suede lip liners. I totally forgot what color this was, you guys. I will link it down below. I'm going in and lining my lips and then filling them in a little bit. I really have been loving going in with lip liner first. It helps your colors last longer. And now I'm going in and with one of my Kiss Me shades. It's a lip gloss called I totally forgot what it was called. You guys, I'll link it down below as well. But it's just a nude lip gloss, and it goes really well with this look. And this is the finished look, to you guys. I just kind of went through and straightened my hair a little bit and put it in like a semi-messy bun. Hope you totally enjoyed this look. If you guys love it, let me know below. Any other looks you want me to recreate for you guys, let me know. All right, love you guys. Subscribe, follow, share. Bye.